Approximately 100 million people have used generative AI in the last month. And the reality is most people are making just a couple of easily fixable mistakes that's ruining their ability to use it well. Copilot is an AI-powered productivity tool that Microsoft is currently rolling out across its suite of apps. But you already know this. You want to know how you can begin using it better. Let's get into it. Like I said, most people are either using Copilot wrong or don't understand it or are too scared of it to begin using it. And believe me, I am not any better. I have been using Copilot fairly regularly for about the last 9 months or so now. And when I first started using Copilot, I thought it was a huge waste of time. I thought it was cool, but I didn't actually see it as cool as Microsoft or different businesses are saying that it is. But over time, I have learned these 5 things that have completely changed my perspective on how I can use Copilot. And number 5 on our list talks about how Copilot is going to impact your job in the near future, so you'll be sure you want to stay for that. Anyways, now I'm actually able to use Copilot to save me time. And I've actually gotten compliments from my colleagues at work about things that I actually used Copilot to help me do. The first on our list has to do with the art of prompting. And that is that your prompt has the greatest impact on Copilot's output. It's not your computer, it's not your internet connection, it is not Microsoft. I'm sorry, but it's you. Now don't get upset, because it's not your fault. Nobody has taught you how to write a good prompt or how to manipulate generative AI tools like Copilot so that it can actually be effective for you. In fact, nobody's really teaching anybody. And like I said, when I started using Copilot, my prompts were pretty bad too. Now, I could easily spend 10 minutes talking about prompting, and I do not want to do that as a part of this video, but I will share these 3 simple tricks. First, the more context you can provide Copilot in your prompt, the better. This just means tell Copilot more information than you think you need to tell it. I know it's smart and knows absolutely everything on the internet, but I found if you can talk to Copilot like it's a 6-year-old, your prompts and your outputs are going to be better. Over-explain everything and try not to leave any room for guessing. As an example, instead of saying, I want to write an email to my boss, say, write an email to my boss, Jess, reminding them about my PTO coming up in 2 weeks. I've already previously got this approved, but I want to send a friendly reminder. Be sure to keep the language cordial, professional, but straight to the point. See, all of this is context that Copilot can use to craft a better response. Second is to try to give your prompt a persona. This just means who is Copilot producing this output for? Or who is Copilot role-playing as while producing this output? So it could be, as a sales manager, create a PowerPoint presentation. As a customer service rep, write an email for the following claim. As a marketing manager, create a nice brochure for our campaign. The persona is ultimately just giving Copilot some additional context, and adding an as a ... statement to the beginning of all your prompts is an easy win. Lastly is do not try to use any abbreviations or acronyms that are specific to your business, industry, your experience, etc. Copilot will need to go and research what that abbreviation is likely talking about, and we just want to eliminate all potential guesswork for Copilot. Sound good? Cool. Just remember that prompting is a fundamental part of the Copilot experience, and it's beneficial if you take the time to learn how to prompt. Fortunately, Microsoft has a really easy, completely free and available tool that you can actually begin utilizing right now to enhance your prompting skills. Introducing the Microsoft Copilot Notebook. If you haven't noticed, which on my personal computer, I don't use Edge, I use Chrome. No shade, but you can actually now begin utilizing Copilot directly within Microsoft Edge. And you can get there by selecting the Copilot button on the page or by going to bing.com/chat. Then change this tab, so to speak, to the notebook section. This is a super awesome prompt playground. You can directly see how your prompts impact Copilot's output. By typing in your prompt into the top section here and submitting it, Copilot is going to produce its output in the bottom section. Then if you resubmit a prompt or modify your current one, then Copilot is then going to go and update the output. One obvious downside is you're not able to have multi-chat experiences or refer back to your previous prompts, but an interface like this is unmatched when it comes to practicing prompts. Also, side note, you can have either of these tools analyze images for you as well. Here, I actually asked it to analyze what is in the thumbnail image of this video that you're watching. Maybe it's just me, but I think that's pretty cool. Any other AI image tools generally require fairly extensive training and ultimately can only tell you if a specific item exists in an image or not just generally analyze an image. Where were we? Yes, the Copilot notebook. I recognize that really nobody has any time to practice prompting in the hustle of everyone's busy life, but I would challenge you. If a carpenter had a ton of projects and a ton of deadlines that they needed to meet, but didn't want to take the time on how to learn how to use a saw, ultimately they're going to take way longer than if they were to just taken the time to learn how to use the tools available to them. Nobody is going to be good at anything the first time they try it, and generative AI tools are no exception. But if you're willing to just take 5 minutes a day and learn how to interact with Copilot, I have a feeling that you'll actually begin to find Copilot pretty useful. Okay, moving on. Number 3 is that the free Copilot tools, like all free AI tools, have their quirks. One that jumps out to me almost immediately is that you are limited to 30 chats or 30 prompts per session. Now, yes, you can just refresh your browser and instantly start a new session where you can have another 30 prompts. But there have been times where I need to kind of rinse and repeat a process dozens and dozens of times, and I find that I tend to hit that 30 limit fairly often. Say for example, I need to summarize 50 different articles. It can be annoying when I'm 20 articles in and now I need to restart my session. Because in this new session, Copilot no longer has all of the context from my original prompt and all of the previous summaries that it's now provided. This first prompt in this new session will likely sound different or be worded different than my other previous 20. Like I said, this may be niche, but I've actually found I have ran into it several times. Also, sometimes Copilot will just straight up not do what you ask it to do. One that annoys me so much is that it does have this really nice copy and paste feature where you can take the output and put it into something else, but it will include all of the hyperlinks that you don't want. I try to avoid this by adding do not include any hyperlinks in your output within my prompt, but I've found that most of the time this is pretty useless. And this actually brings up something that I have been noticing and I have heard other people mention as well. Copilot and most LLM models are pretty bad at listening to do not ... statements. It's almost like if you tell it to not do something, it ignores the words do not in front of it and just pays attention to the thing you told it not to do. It's like telling a kid not to eat the cookies on the counter when they didn't even know the cookies were on the counter in the first place. In my experience, I find it better just to omit any do not statements from your prompts. And if you have found a better solution, please tell me down in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and experience with Copilot. Now, number 4 on our list is something that's really important for you to know for your safety and to protect yourself. And that is understanding that there is a protected Copilot experience and an unprotected Copilot experience. What does this mean? Well, generally AI tools are recording the interactions that you're having with them so that it can further train the model. i.e., if Copilot provided a good response, then Copilot can learn from that positive experience. Now, this is a good thing because that means it's going to get better and better over time. But this also means that it's storing your potentially sensitive information. Now, when eligible users sign in with a work or school account, Copilot adds a commercial data protection to help protect those businesses or educational organizations and their data. Here's how it works. Microsoft states that the users and organizational data is protected and the prompts and responses are not saved in any way. Essentially, this just means when you're using the protected version of Copilot, Microsoft or the large language model itself is not recording your interaction. Okay, so what I am not saying is that you should only use the protected version. All I'm saying is that you should be aware that these two different versions exist. I think it goes without saying that you shouldn't share personal or corporate sensitive information online. And just because it's through Copilot, it does not change that principle. Just let's be smart. Let's just be smart. Don't share corporate reports. Don't share sensitive personal information. I mean, you get the idea. Okay, moving on to our fifth and final item on the list. Now, this is going to be practically slightly different for each and every one of us, but nonetheless, this fifth thing that I've learned about Copilot is going to apply to every single person. And that is that Copilot will change your job. Now, before you freak out, let me explain. I think it's safe to say that Copilot will change your job, but I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Just like how if you work an office job, if email ceased to exist, how you would conduct your job would change. Your day-to-day responsibilities, how you communicate, how you get stuff done, it would change. This is what I mean when I say Copilot is going to impact or change your job. I think Copilot can truly be a powerful tool for those willing to learn how to use it. And it's a great productivity tool to help generate rough drafts of documents or PowerPoint presentations. Summarize an hour-long meeting transcript into just a few bullet points. Generate a friendly email in seconds. It can summarize a sales team's open leads so that they can go and sell more. Now, saying Copilot will change your job begs a different question, and this one is a little bit scarier. If Copilot is going to change your job, does this also mean that Copilot can replace it? You are gonna wanna watch this video here as we answer that exact question. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. My name is Griffin Lickfelt, the host of Citizen Developer, and I'm excited to connect with you guys in the next one.